Rosberg retired after his first championship. I'm going to retire after my first win. Those were the words of Lando Norris after being told he'd entered 100 Grand Prix without a win, and having seen his rookie teammate secure a sprint victory before he has topped any kind of F1 race format. Obviously, the statement was a joke, but as time goes on, how much longer can Lando really wait for his first win? To even suggest Lando Norris is a bad driver would be extremely ignorant. Time and time again, he's shown he's got great racecraft, and 2023 has been an impressive season for him, with Lando bagging points and podiums consistently over the latter half of this year. But it's a surprise that despite all this success, Lando still hasn't stood on the top step of the podium, and you can't say he hasn't had his chances. Russia 2021 was Lando's best opportunity for a win, but one costly mistake changed all that. After an excellent tyre change call in qualifying, Lando managed to secure pole position for the race, and all was going well. He'd fought hard to maintain first place and was keeping Hamilton behind. But when rain started towards the end of the race, it all went wrong. Lando was asked if he wanted to pit to intermediates, but he chose to stay out on slicks, and this ended up being what cost him the race win, as he lost grip and slid off the track, watching Hamilton overtaking for the lead and missing out on that crucial maiden victory. It was a moment of bad luck for Lando, and also a mistake he made himself, but sometimes that's racing. So where else could Lando have won? Monza 2021 was certainly an interesting race, with the two title contenders crashing out, Bottas at the back of the grid with an engine penalty, and Perez happier in the midfield than at the front. This left the steps of the podium open for any driver to have a pop at, and McLaren seized the opportunity. They were running 1-2 at the front of the field, but unfortunately for Lando, he wasn't the driver in that number one spot. In the race, almost everyone agrees that Lando could have gone for the top step of the podium, but Ricciardo was leading first and had qualified ahead of Lando. So McLaren was not about to sacrifice their first race victory in 9 years to let their drivers fight. Team orders were imposed to keep Danny Ric in front of Lando, which left Norris on only the second step of the podium. Again, at the end of the day, was there much more Lando could do? Well, the only way for him to be the man on top would have been to out-qualify Daniel, or beat him in the sprint. But neither was done, so another win didn't go his way. Lando realistically didn't get another opportunity for race victory for a while, with the 2022 McLaren not really being a contender for race wins, but 2023 has not lacked opportunity. Singapore 2023 was different. Red Bull had finally got it wrong, and the car just wasn't hooking up correctly for the drivers. Whoever got on pole, much like in Monaco, had a great chance to park the car in first place and not let anyone pass. And Lando Norris was one of those people contending for pole. Yet unfortunately for Norris, his lap time was 3/10 too slow, and he qualified in P4. Maybe he could have found those 3/10, or maybe that was genuinely the car's maximum, and on the day, the Ferrari of Sainz was just faster. But in the race, Lando did make his way up to P2. However, he was held behind Carlos's magnificent defending that day. Again, it's really up to debate whether there was an opportunity to pass, but it was certainly more than he'd been given before. And could Lando have gone for that all or nothing mentality that Russell had that day? Then there was the sprint in Qatar. Sure, a sprint might not be what you call a proper race win, but Lando making a mistake in qualifying, costing him pole, and leading to his rookie teammate Oscar Piastri winning, shows that Lando did miss an opportunity to get that first place. As over the weekend, Norris was a quicker driver, but again, him not out-qualifying his teammate meant that he was behind in both race formats. So Lando certainly could have got race wins, and sometimes it's of his own mistakes. But at the end of the day, the times he's been given opportunities to secure wins have always been difficult ones. He hasn't had nearly the same domination as Max or Lewis, but he still tried to push them all the way. There's no doubt in mine or anyone else's mind that Lando could win. He just needs all the factors to fall his way, and most importantly, he needs to keep his cool. Hit the subscribe button if you hope to see Lando on the top step at least once. We're trying to go for 50,000 subscribers. Goodbye!